According to 4 researchers at Santa Clara University, justice means giving someone exactly what they deserve. Do you feel that our legal system provides justice for all? What about individuals who are found guilty of capital murder? Today, according to Costanzo and Krauss, only 35 states, the federal government, and the United States military authorize the death penalty. New Jersey is not one of those 35 states, even though I would like it to be. As per the Death Penalty Information Center, the death penalty is punishment by execution administered by legal and medical officials. The two most commonly used methods of execution are by lethal injection and electrocution. Most of the states authorizing the death penalty use lethal injection, which is a combination of 3 chemicals: a sedative, a neuromuscular paralytic, and one to stop the heart. Some people consider the death penalty to be inhumane. However, lethal injection to me sounds like a pretty decent punishment for the crimes you had to commit in order to get the sentence in the first place. Costanzo and Cross's information explains that today, the only crime punishable by death is aggravated murder. Aggravated murder differs across states, but generally includes murder for hire, murder of more than one person, murder of a police officer, murder of a child, and murder while committing another felony. Whether or not an individual receives the death penalty is determined by the uses of special instructions and procedures to control the discretion of jurors. This is called guided discretion. Capital murder cases have 2 phases. The first determines their guilt, and the second, the penalty phase, determines whether they will receive the death penalty or life in prison without the possibility of parole. Only a jury can make this decision, so the defense better have one heck of a case. After the penalty phase, the jury is asked to weigh the aggravating factors against the mitigating factors. Aggravating factors are the characteristics of the murder and the murderer that support the death sentence, and mitigating factors are those that support a sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. There are a lot of influences that go into this decision. I personally would love to be on the jury of a capital murder case. One case I find fascinating was that of Andrea Yates. She was married to Russell Yates, who was an engineer for NASA. Her life on the outside seemed perfect until she called her husband at work and said she needed him to come home. Andrea Yates had drowned all 5 of her children in their bathtub. She called police, told them what she had done, and sat calmly and quietly while police investigated the scene. Before Yates had been depressed for 2 years and was once hospitalized for her suicide attempt. While in prison, she claimed to hear Satan's voice talking to her through her cell walls. Jurors tend to be softer on mothers. According to a study done by ABC News, jurors have a harder time sending them to lethal gas or electrocution. Andrea's public defender gave her medical records to the judge and jury. However, the next day it was decided that the prosecution would pursue the death penalty. Unfortunately, she was found not guilty by reasons of insanity. This was absolutely shocking to me. I'm a firm believer in justice and making things fair. Andrea Yates killed 5 innocent children, and she deserves the death penalty. I feel that if you kill someone, then you should be killed yourself. I was interested to learn that the jurors in Andrea's case were asking about her willingness to vote for the death penalty if she was found guilty. Elaine Castle pointed this out, that this is the process of death qualification. Death qualification only occurs in capital murder cases. If they seriously do not want to consider the death penalty as a punishment, then they are excused from the case. The death qualification can have some bias effects, as Costanzo and Krauss mentioned. The prosecution said in the penalty phase that if the jury sentences Andrea to life in prison rather than the death sentence, they will have made a good choice. They used the death qualification to their advantage. They wanted a jury who was pro-prosecution and would ignore Andrea's insanity defense. In our world, nothing is perfect, especially our legal system. There have been mistakes made in the death penalty cases before. The most frequent reasons for false death penalties from Costanzo and Krauss are incompetent defense lawyers, faulty or misleading jury instructions, and prosecution misconduct. The study they referenced showed that 7% of capital murder cases are false and that the individuals are falsely convicted. The study did not reveal how many innocent people were actually executed.